Wake up.
He paid the money.
Halt. You violated the law. Pay the fine or I will have to take matters into my own hands.
But he didn't know exactly how it was going to be classified. He didn't know it was going to be classified, they're going to say, as legal expenses, which is the misclassification, right? Is this idea that this was hush money, but instead they called it legal expenses. And they're going to say he didn't know that it was being registered as legal expenses. This was nothing to him. It was just in passing. He wasn't paying attention, et cetera. The prosecution, of course, will come forward and say, we have evidence that Donald Trump knew exactly what this was about.
And we'll see. We don't know if an indictment is going to happen or not. But you say of all the cases that Trump is facing, this one would not be in the top of your list.
This is the worst one. Of all the investigations out there, you've got Atlanta, which is about overturning the election there. You've got the federal one, which is about the mishandling of the classified documents and obstruction of justice. There's a lot of evidence in those cases. This is about something that happened 7 years ago. This is about something where the Fed's already investigated. This is definitely the weakest of the group.
All right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So here's the reality of the situation. Okay. As far as things that hit Trump on, paying hush money and misclassifying it, paying hush money to a porn star after an act of sex work, and then misclassifying it as though it's actually, something different. Yeah, it's the lowest rung. I mean, it's one where he is like objectively in the wrong, and people have gone to jail for it, right? The reason that this happened so long ago is because Trump's attorney general said that you can't prosecute a sitting president. Yeah, a sitting president. Yes. So there is that reality as well. Okay. There is obviously that reality as well. They blocked and pushed for as long as they did successfully. Okay. But it is kind of like putting Capone down for tax fraud, right? Nabbing him for tax fraud. Okay. I thought my internet dropped. No. Donald Trump's defenders and people that worked under him and under his administration routinely blocked and pushed any kind of fucking criminal investigation being conducted on him, even though he was violating the law all the time. They said he's the president. You can't do anything about it. This is political. Now that he's no longer the president, you could technically prosecute him for shit. And now they're saying, well, it's been 4 years. You didn't do anything back then. How dare you do something now, as though you weren't the reason why they didn't stop doing it. And then the other defense, that's my favorite defense, okay? My favorite defense is like, well, there's all these other things that he did that you didn't care about. It's like, bro, at this point, Donald Trump's like wanton corruption, they're using it like it's a defense mechanism. They're saying like, well, he did a lot of fucking illegal shit and you didn't talk about any of that. It's like, that's not a defense, dog. That's not how that works, brother. That's not. Like, what do you mean? Obviously, one of the things I got to talk about here is how much the right is, chirping in unison and going crazy. Okay? But the other thing I got to talk about is how little the left has been pushing for this. Now, do I think personally that this is like trumped up charges? Do I think that this is personally the weakest thing that you could nab him on? Yeah, I do. But if I was a Democratic Party operative, I would never say that. If I was a Democratic Party operative, I would do exactly what Republicans do all the time. Why do we give you money? What the fuck is the purpose for us to vote for you? All right, the Trump Clown Show. See key witness, scorch Trump's allies' testimony.
By former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen. He hosts the Mea Culpa podcast. He's the author of the book, Revenge, How Donald Trump Weaponized the U.S. You have been in the news a lot. Thank you for being here on The Beat tonight.
It's always good to see you, Ari.
You went down there today. Did you testify?
I did not. I was asked to be a potential rebuttal witness. The prosecutors determined that my rebuttal was not necessary, and so I was released.
Not necessary today, according to them. Mr. Costello said several things. I'll start with a fairly narrow one.
He sure did. He said a lot of things today.
As a narrow matter, he asserted that he says you are testifying again on Wednesday. Is that true?
Okay, so very much like most of everything that came out of his mouth, he lacks for any sense of veracity here. There's no accuracy to his statement. I have not been asked to come back on Wednesday, And moreover, something that you would know as well, prosecutors will not tell you if you are or you're not coming back. They just don't do that. They'll let you know at the last moment or at least the day before. So how he has this specific information just goes to show you he is exactly who he is. And that, of course, would be Rudy Giuliani's attorney.
Yeah, and in this process, and I've reminded viewers, there is a...
It's wild that, like, shit that the public should not know, Donald Trump is already aware of and is, like, openly telling to the rest of the public. Like, these are... Like, a grand jury indictment is supposed to be, like, a private affair because you don't want the grand jury to, like, feel pressured from the motherfucking person that they're indicting. And that is precisely what Donald Trump did, by the way. Remember when everyone was saying, oh, I can't believe Derek Chauvin, who is definitely a murderer, by the way, and is in prison now, was being... You know, the jury was being pressured by the media constantly covering this high-profile case, right? Like, that's witness tampering. That's, destroying the fucking actual, the veracity of the court. That's destroying the fucking actual sanctity of the court, whatever, right? Meanwhile, this kind of, like, actual fucking jury tampering is completely allowed because it's the president doing it, and there's nothing you can do on that.
April of 2018, April 17th, I believe, we met with Michael Cohen for the first time at the Regency Hotel at his request. Michael was in a manic state. He told us that he had contemplated suicide, that he had been up on the roof of the Regency.
Okay, I got to say something here. Like, I mean, one, this guy is cooking Michael Cohen. And Michael Cohen himself is really not reacting that hard. Like, not to be a guy who says, like, maybe react a little harder, forehead, but, like, honestly, react harder, Michael Cohen. Like, what the fuck's going on? What is this? What is this? I mean, there's an art to this. MSNBC is trying to do what I do, okay? And quite frankly, it's not working, okay? There's an art to what this is, okay? A lot of people don't understand the work we put in. Like, for example, sneaking in an order for a sweet green salad in between the MSNBC clip. You know what I mean? This is not easy. Not everyone can do it. But I can. There's an art to running the top of the hour ad break in between moments and pausing and acting like you didn't actually forget and that you were reminded by glancing over at the chat. But still, it doesn't matter. Fuck you. That still debated you regardless. And now everyone is going to say 3 out of 10. But it doesn't matter because we all know in your heart of hearts that it was a 9 out of 10. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can serve the top of the hour ad break and then tell you that if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you can do for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime, while simultaneously logging my calories in from last night because unfortunately Chipotle was closed by then. So I had to order Chick-fil-A.
Hotel the weekend before, seriously considering jumping off because he couldn't face the enormity of the legal problems he knew were coming his way.
Is that true?
Well, parts of that are actually
Replay it
true.
back.
I was incredibly distraught. Remember, I have never in my life had an issue with law enforcement. Actually, one time in 1985, I was driving back to college. I was going 13, 14 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I got a speeding ticket, the one and only in my entire life. Other than that, I've never had run-ins with law enforcement.
Yes, so let me put it like this. I mean, it almost seems like in that pressure, you shared or confided in Mr. Costello.
Yeah,
and now he's trying to say that because you were stressed.
Bro, this is literally like Twitch streamer drama, but like with actual legal consequences, like legal implications, and related to the fucking president. I'm like losing my mind. Michael Cohen is like, saying like, you're leaking the DMs. I confided in you when I felt in my weakest moment. That doesn't make me a bad fucking witness in this situation. That doesn't make me a bad character witness. That also is really fucked up. And not only that, but also, can you give facts for once? Like, can you, instead of, claiming that I did something, can you show me the proof of where I actually waived my attorney-client privilege? So that, and the other guy's like, no.
And I think everyone could, judge not lest you be judged first, but people get stressed out. He seems to be trying to use that against the rest of your story. Is that fair?
No, it's not. In fact, it's a typical Donald J. Trump play out of the playbook. Figure out how you're going to muddy the water as best as you possibly can, denigrate the person, disparage them. They did the same thing to Cassidy Hutchinson. They did the same thing to anyone and everyone that is for the truth. And the beauty that I have is I have facts. I have truth. I have the documentation. Let me rephrase that. The district attorney has the documentation in order to validate every single statement that I've made and to basically dispel anything that Bob Costello has to say, which is probably, again, why they didn't need me for rebuttal.
My last question on Mr. Costello's approach, and then I have another factual piece. When you watch that, what does it make you think of him?
Well, I think he's a clown, which is exactly why, after the repeated attempts to get on my legal team or to be my attorney, which, of course, is all directed by Rudy and those that be there in Washington, D.C. at the time, I had no interest. And there's even statements me hanging up on him, and we had some arguments on the phone where I want to be left alone by you.
So you think Mr. Giuliani and others may have been trying to use him to play like he was on your side and then use that against you, which seems like part of what he's doing today.
Yes, it seems like it to me, too.
Yeah, and by the way, I'll mention, and you know how we are around here, Mr. Costello's invited on. And if he wants to come to the table and speak the way you have.
And so he should.
I've invited him on that. Here's the factual claim he makes. Maybe factual, maybe not. But he, like Mr. Tacopina, argues that basically you were out here just doing.
This part is so boring. Like, I don't understand. Okay, let's watch this. All right, let's get to the fucking content, baby. Let's get to the man, the myth, the legend himself, Donald Trump. Okay? Settle your fucking Discord call beef in the Discord, okay? Maybe do it in front of a public audience. Maybe do it in front of a live audience. Ari literally is over here acting like XQC, being like, come on, dude. Do it on stream, dude. That's what he's saying, okay? I'm going to keep using a lot of like XQC Trainwrecks analogies, I think, today. This is working in my favor. My man is glistening. He looks so orange. What the fuck happened, dude? Holy shit. Let's take a look.
These 4 horrible, radical left Democrat investigations of your all-time favorite president, me, is just a continuation of the most disgusting witch hunt in the history of our country. It's gone on forever with Russia, 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 and Ukraine, 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 and the Mueller hoax. It's an absolute disgrace what's going on. They even spied on my campaign. And remember this, with all of the work that they did on Mueller, no collusion. That's what the answer was all no collusion. Whether it's the Mar-a-Lago raid or the Unselect Committee hoax, the perfect Georgia phone call, it was absolutely perfect, or the Stormy Horseface Daniels extortion plot.
Wait. Stormy Horseface Daniels? Like, I don't get it. Like, you fucked her, right? Wait, that's like a self-own, isn't it? No, like, I don't understand. Wait, what? Yes, folks. I ride horses, and I pay money to fuck someone I now call Horseface. I fuck the horsiest of faces. What does that mean?
They're all sick. And it's fake news. Our enemies are desperate to stop us because they know that we are the only ones who can stop them, and they know it very strongly. And they're looking at the polls where, not me, but we are up by so much. They can't even believe it.
Holy fuck. All right, that was loud. All right, it's time. I miss him so much. Yeah, I mean, me too, man. Me too, me too, me too. Fuck. He looked like he lost a lot of weight and kind of hot. Oh my God, you are so horny for Trump. You motherfuckers are hornier for Trump than I am, dude. Holy shit. You said he looked kind of hot? That's wild, brother. That's like, you should have kept that in the drafts. You know what I mean? See, this is one of those moments where like there's on the one hand, got a bussy, but on the other hand, you don't have to go overboard.
You want just like your name, your age, and weight, yeah. Okay, you want my name?
Yeah.
Who the fuck did Daily Mail hire to do this interview? They found the most Staten Island guy. Look at it. Hey, give me your fucking name and age over here.
So, do you want just like your name, your age, and where you?
Okay, you want my name?
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
With a J.
Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Shinko.
Hey, what's your fucking name? Give me your fucking name. I'm gonna do a fucking interview over here. Fuck off, dude. Give me your fucking name, dude. I'm here for the Daily fucking Mail.
Shinko.
And your age?
It's 63.
Okay. So, how come you're here today?
Hey, well,
Wait, never mind. He's actually British? Wait, what?
supporting the greatest president we ever had. You know, I mean, the guy, he made a fool out of the whole Democratic Party, the Republican Party. He came in 2 years, turned the country around. Okay, like he made a fool out of everyone, all the politicians that's been in politics for 20, 30, 40 years, and this guy came in 2 years and turned the country around. Okay, he made everybody get out of debt. Everybody had a savings account. Everybody got their credit scores up. He created the greatest economy ever, in the country. So everybody was doing good. So I never, and me, I'm 63 years old now. I never voted at all in my life. This was the very first guy I ever voted for, because when I was younger, my father said politicians are nothing but liars and crooks, which they are, and I never voted for any of them. This guy wasn't a politician. He was the very first guy I ever voted for, and I made the right decision.
So, what state are you from?
I'm originally from the Lower East Side here in Manhattan, but I live in Pennsylvania right now.
And how do you feel that this is going on in your backyard?
Oh, it's going great in my backyard. Listen, everybody's conservative where I'm at. Believe me, in Pennsylvania, they rigged the election in Pennsylvania. It was such a disgrace what happened there. You have to go back to election day, not election week, because election week was going on in Pennsylvania. Okay, they waited until Saturday to declare who won Pennsylvania, really? When they were funneling in all these friggin' mail-in ballots? Come on.
So what do you think about the rumors that he will be indicted tomorrow?
I'm not even worried about it. I'm looking like this is the third time with the Stormy Daniels thing. Okay, like for instance, her lawyer is in prison right now for 20 years, and she had to pay Trump money already, and this is the third time. So you know what? I'm not even worried about it. I just think it's just going to make him stronger.
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. The one thing that I and many others were afraid of in the Trump camp, because we are firmly in the Trump camp, okay, let's be real, was that the protests for Donald Trump, to defend Donald Trump from the unjustifiable corrupt DA, were going to be tiny. Like, what would happen if Trump actually was to be indicted and then people wouldn't show up? And it kind of feels like that's what's going on. And that's a little awkward, okay? That's a little awkward. I mean, I don't know where Trump goes from here. I don't know where Trump goes from here and how he turns this into a fucking situation. Like, he has to fucking rile them up somehow. Doesn't seem like Truth Social posts are doing it. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene literally said, hey, actually, you perhaps maybe shouldn't protest. Don't do that.